Hey y'all, it's your girl Jass.
It's your boy Jay, man. Another episode of Spiritual Paradise.
Yes, I'm so excited to introduce Jay because Jay is gonna be hosting the show with me, and y'all know we just got the lit vibes and the energy.
Right, good vibes, no super good vibes. My name Jay. Y'all know Jazz. She do tarot readings. She's a spiritual advisor. I'm a spiritual advisor as well. I do tarot readings. You could follow my page at the letter J Tarot Zero TAROT 0 on Instagram and YouTube. You can get us for your readings. But with that being said, we're gonna get a great episode. All that, everything above what's understood and got to be explained. And yeah.
And yeah, that's just what it is. Okay, so Jay, what we gonna be talking about today?
I mean, the components, for the most part, the components of conventional and non-conventional relationships, especially how it resonates and correlates with spiritual things and religions, how everything coincides, and what you and your partner prefer in a relationship, whether self or dealing with other people.
Okay, so like in a relationship, because what's a non-conventional relationship? Like I know it can be a relationship between the same sex. It
hmm
can be younger, older. But like in today's time, what do you feel is like the most common type of non-conventional relationship?
I feel like it's anything that goes against like the norm and what people would say is a regular relationship, whether it's standards, just more so what other people wouldn't agree with, but it's more so comfortable for you.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And the thing is about relationships overall is I feel it's really what works for you and your partner.
Mm.
It's not so much of what a society accepts, is what works for you and your partner. I've been seeing a lot of like monogamous relationships
hmm
turn into like more something more
Like mainstream and everything, like it's more acceptable. Like
like
stepping outside your relationship.
yeah, so like monogamous relationships are becoming more not norm. Okay, and that's just one person. So monogamous relationship is just like two people in a relationship,
hmm
and that's it. But now it's like to the point where people feel like they're not satisfied with one person anymore.
Right, especially when you got things like social media, which what I'm saying, it presents a status of instant gratification. Like you can get all of this in a partner, or if you're not satisfied, you can just live for yourself and dibble and dabble with. I feel as though you can't play with people's like emotions, like
Right.
because everyone, you can say you're grown, but being grown requires being mentally grown, spiritually grown, emotionally grown, and just mature all around. So it's just about what you want in your partner. But everyone doesn't have the same.
Desires. Like everyone doesn't have the same things that they want in a relationship. Okay. Now, and from my what I've seen when it comes to relationships, like with more than one partner, um, from what I've seen with those type of relationships, usually it comes from some type of insecurity. Not saying that there aren't people out there who just genuinely feel like they want to have two girlfriends or two wives, okay?
Mhm.
But a lot of times that comes from an insecure spot, an insecure place.
Right. Like people don't really just love themselves, so they might need more out of their partner than what their partner is able to give them because they may or may not have reached a certain point. So, and I feel as though if a situation or a relationship isn't working out for you, it's only to prepare you to what you do personally feel as though you deserve or what's not acceptable. My everything in life is just a learning curve. So, I mean, it just takes two grown people, emotionally mature, spiritually mature. Like everything has to correlate in that partner because you can't just give so much into a situation that you forget about yourself. It has to be reciprocal and very transparent, in which a lot of people, especially because we in Atlanta right now, so everyone is having like their best life. They dibble and dabble, and it's kind of a non-committal space.
Yeah, Atlanta is the dating scene in Atlanta is a F. I give it a F.
I give it an F plus. It's hope. It's hope.
It stinks because it's just the energy that's here when it comes to love. There's a weird energy around love. Okay, and y'all know I'm an astro freak, so I was doing some research. I found out that Atlanta was like an Aquarius sun.
You real?
uh-huh. So that's why it's so like it's non-conventional. Like Aquarius is a sign that is more accepting of non-conventional relationships than other signs. So it's Atlanta dating scene is just so you never know what you're going to get, and a lot of times what you do get is just not what you want.
Right.
Especially if you're the type of person where you still embrace monogamy, like you see yourself settling down with one person and being in a relationship that doesn't have outside cheating, okay, outside people, and learning the real definition of commitment. Okay, I feel like that's something that Atlanta doesn't offer.
Yeah.
Not on a wide scale is what I feel.
Right. If you get what you do want, like if you find what you do want, it's like finding a needle in the haystack. But you just got to have your own magnet. And then when I say that, I mean your own intuition about what you want, how to read certain people. Like out here, you got to have your own intuition. Because a person can come to you and present something, but reality is so different from perception. So you got to be careful what you picking with your poison.
Yes, absolutely. You definitely have to be careful. As overall, when it comes to dating. So, Jay, have you ever been in a relationship that I feel like was, I guess, unconventional or not normal?
Yes, definitely to an extent. Kind of going through it right now. Um, just dealing with people who have emotional baggage or has I've never been someone who's dealt with someone who's had emotional baggage outside of my last two situations, so I don't recommend anyone settling because emotional baggage can come into your suitcase, and that's not what you told the flight attendant that you had, if you catching what I'm pitching. So
And just to clarify, what is emotional baggage?
like stuff that your current partner hasn't let go of from the past, which is intruding on your relationship. Like your relationship could be so great with that person, but the emotional baggage is going to get in the way based upon what you choose to accept
Right,
or what you're not okay with. Because
right.
if something isn't working for you internally, it can't be for you. It's either a lesson or a blessing. So
That's real. No, that's definitely real. And that's why it's so important to give yourself time to heal in between relationships so you know what you want, okay? Because I feel like a lot of people jump into relationships, and of course love, relationships, any type of connection is an experience within itself,
yeah,
but you want to walk into that experience with at least some type of attention, okay? I see a lot of people get in relationships and they allow relationships to grow and grow and grow, and they never even had the intention of getting into that situation. So it's like, and a lot of times it becomes something that's toxic,
right,
and they feel like they can't leave the relationship. They don't know how to get out of the relationship. But do you know what you want when it comes to love? Because
right,
if you don't know what you want, you're gonna attract a partner who probably has different interests than you, who probably has a different plan than you. And instead of conforming yourself to something that you may not like, that may not seem, to the best of the ability. Because what I'm seeing a lot now is that a lot of a lot of people, females specifically, are now walking into these relationships with these men who I feel wine and dine them, and they have other outside relationships outside of that female, and females are becoming more accepting of that relationship simply because of the benefits they get from it, but it doesn't make them feel good internally.
right. It's more so on the surface level, and men go through that as well. Especially when you're not used to having certain things, it's more easy for you to naturally settle, and you can't self sabotage or settle because that correlates with telling the universe that you're okay with what's going on, that you ultimately don't deserve better at the moment because it's like a momentary thing. It's a momentary satisfaction.
Yeah, it's a momentary thing, but okay, not granted. There are people out there who really just like to have multiple people,
Right.
and that's fine. But I feel like that's something that has to be communicated in the early stages of the relationship.
Right. You can't paint a picture for the person that you're dealing with, telling them it's a Picasso, and you go to the museum and sell it, and it's not authentic. It's not really what it is. So it's like you're playing with other people's emotions, your emotions, whether you know it or not, and everything is not pure. You only want pure in your life, and you can't just accept anything.
And that's just the bottom line to it. That's just the bottom line to it, honey. Because one, like the type of female that I am, I am not open to open relationships or anything like that. I'm not. I like committed, safe, secure relationships because that's what security means to me. Security for me may look different for you, so that's why it's important that you know what these things look like for yourself. A loving relationship for you might be different from loving relationship from Jay. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different. We all have different perspectives and different needs and desires. So you have to get clear of your own needs before you kind of get in a relationship. And if you find out that your needs are different from the majority of people, then okay, then you might need to search for someone who can match your needs rather than getting disappointed by people who aren't open minded as you are.
Right. And how you feel about like, let's say you're dealing with someone, and like, how does like the perception of things coincide with your own intuition? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, just being with someone, everything's right, but your body is like, you have an underlying intuition about the situation, basically saying that it's not serving you or won't serve you to a full extent. Like, how do you feel about that?
Oh, I have been there. I've been there. Like that's basically um what you see in the relationship is not lining up with what you feel internally, like what your intuition is telling you.
Yeah,
So like you could see so just to like paint a picture. If I could be with someone who's just doing everything. It seems like he's doing everything. He calling all the time.
yeah,
He's showing me attention and something just don't feel right.
it's just something you can't put your
Like
finger
so,
on.
I don't know what it is. Something just off. Something just telling me he a liar or he's a cheater, not to trust him or something like that.
Yeah,
And I don't know what it is. So now I've been in a situation like that, and what did I do? Ignore my intuition, and I kept going with the situation. Like I kept talking to the person and just trying to see like what is it? What is it that like what is it that you're hiding or you know what I'm saying? Like just going into the situation, even though something was telling me I shouldn't have.
all right.
And then a lot of times those are the situations where we get our heart broken the most. And
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't even imagine this person doing us this type of way, but something told us like don't trust me.
All right, watch out.
That was the worst type.
Other words, but you gotta learn your lessons, and the cycle either gets shorter or longer, based upon what you're willing to accept and tolerate. Because all that pain ends up turning into love that you gotta pour back into yourself and start back over. But it's only to prevent certain future situations like that from happening. So
Right.
you gotta take the good with the bad and take everything with a grain of salt. Take your lessons and flip them into blessings. Because like can't nobody waste time at the moment. Like time is the day's already going by faster, so it's like time is of the essence, and you can't self sabotage for anything.
That's absolutely right.
Do you feel like it's anything like we need to touch on, like as far as like what the people need to know in dealing with relationships?
Just whatever we want to talk about. Would you have a threesome?
I would never have a threesome because I don't believe in sharing my partner with someone else. If that's my queen, she needs to be treated as mine because I'm going to fulfill her in every way possible. And everybody doesn't. For me in a man situation, because men sometimes when they're dealing with a woman, that woman strays off because she's bored or she's just not having her needs being met. Like whether
Yeah.
you're a man or you're a woman, you have to be open minded even when y'all not talking and just try to spice up that person's life. So I wouldn't even be in a position where I would, whether it's me and two women. No, because I don't want my woman to feel unloved to any extent or seeing me love on another woman, even if it's for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But it's each his own. I'm not.
Yeah, to each his own. That is something that's I feel like an interesting topic since we're talking about unconventional stuff.
Mm,
Like the whole threesome thing, because I've been asked one time to, actually more than one time. Like I do a lot of things by myself sometimes. Like I go out to eat by myself, and especially if I go out to maybe like the hookah club or the hookah bar by myself, and it's a couple there, they will hit on me.
yeah.
And then it's just so weird because it like I just try to think about how they probably think in that moment. Like, do y'all come to the club and then y'all both already know y'all gonna find somebody at the club? Like, how do you seek out?
I think those are just like natural swingers. Like if they it can't be their first time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those are professionals. They were professional speakers, and they probably like, oh yeah, on Friday night we gonna go out to the.
Um,
That's
we're gonna find us a nice little tender, you know, put in our frying grease, and we're gonna bring the barbecue sauce. Like you know what I mean? So, but I mean, I'm not one for like mixing, dibbling, dabbling, and like with energies like that. If I'm a, cause you shouldn't have sex with anyone who you wouldn't want to be, if that makes sense, because you don't want to exchange that energy.
that's good. You shouldn't have sex with anyone that you wouldn't want to be. Like if you could wake up and be this person the next day, would you?
Right? Would you be okay with that?
Like really? Like would you really be okay with that? And if your answer is no, then you probably shouldn't be having sex with those people.
Right, and you won't know you're different until like days down the line. Like what is your thoughts, ways of being, thinking, like. But that feeling isn't always there. It's just as much as you have sex with that person, the more you're gonna exchange that energy. Like if you're a very vibrant, open, optimistic person, and they're kind of negative, y'all gonna exchange energies for a little bit. It just depends on how much you know. You gotta have a balance to everything in life, and you gotta be cognizant and aware of yourself more than anything because you gotta love yourself before you love somebody else. So always pay attention to yourself.
Right. Love yourself first, okay? And that's even like that can help people embrace, I feel like, the non-conventional part of their relationships, because I feel like a lot of couples who feel as if society is not accepting of their relationships, they would try not to come out. Like
Yeah,
there will be couples that feel as if they cannot participate in regular couple things because they're going to be judged.
right. And it's just like you can't be. You gotta be in this world, not of it. Like you gotta think for yourself, move for yourself, because you can't worry about the opinions of another person when 9 times out of 10 they don't even know themselves. So it should give you more strength to walk in your power, knowing that person doesn't even like know who they are to the full extent or what world we are living in. So just do what's best for you, whether it's conventional or non-conventional. Even though this is a conventional area, and we promote conventional things, even though we do tarot and everything, and it's unconventional
I
to some
promote
people.
both. I promote whatever it is your heart desire.
Right, free will, but just keep it balanced, you know.
But so, what advice do you have for people who, I guess you could say, like people who have a hard time coming out,
Hmm.
like embracing their sexuality, or even telling their partner of like the type of relationship or like sexual energy they want to have in their relationship? Like, how do you like? What do you feel like would be a more aligned way to handle situations like that? Because that's something that can cause people to feel the need to lie or repress how they actually feel.
Hmm. Well, at the end and the beginning of the day, it just requires that person on either end being an adult and voicing their concerns, opinions, and their objective feelings. Like a closed mouth doesn't get fed at the end of the day, and you just gotta. If you love a person that much and you're accepting of them, and they're accepting of you, it shouldn't be hard for you to voice these things that you're hiding or just not being fully expressive about. Like, and if you can't verbalize those deep internal feelings, then you may or may not need to be with that person. You may not need to be with them. So it should say a lot. Like you got to read in between the lines.
Yeah,
But
like
a person should always be accepting. Like, and if you're a man and you have a more feminine side, don't feel so bad if you like another man because like everyone, I don't care how tough somebody is. Like even the strongest man has a feminine side that he's not embracing. Like
right.
everyone has masculine and feminine in their body. So it's just about who you are as a person, what you're willing. Are you willing to live in your truth? Because you don't even know, like you living your truth could inspire the next person who may be
Yeah.
contemplating suicide, anything. So just walk in your truth because you never know who's looking and who you're motivating. It can maybe be a little cousin, a little brother, anything. You might even be able to motivate your partner to be more expressive to you.
Yeah, that's absolutely like, and that is real. Like that's real what you just said. Like I hope somebody that might inspire someone, but don't be afraid to speak up for what you want. Like he said, like if you're in a relationship and you need to tell your partner something that you desire, and it may be to you, you may feel like strange or weird or this or that. Let the shame go and just be honest, because that's the honesty is what's gonna bring you closer to being comfortable.
Right. And people respect honesty, so it's just like your partner respects you way more if you like you didn't hold your tongue or if you just verbalize. So you know you separating yourself apart from maybe past people they've dealt with or anything. And if that's not the case, you strengthen your own character by walking in your truth and following the path that you feel as though you should follow. Because everyone can't be verbal about who they are. Most people are, like just just shaken by the norm and the world that they live in and how to be and what not to be. Like you can't, like Jesus was judged and he stood in his truth and he took what came with it. So it's like if they hated Jesus, what chance do you think you have? So just always walk in your truth, and you get blessings from the universe by walking in your truth. Man. So just
Absolutely.
do you.
Absolutely. Jay, do you have anything else that you want to tell the people tonight?
Nah, we can't give them too much. They're gonna have to tune in on the next episodes and just as we get deeper, just make sure y'all bring y'all life jackets, and y'all snorkeling goggles.
And that's just what it is, y'all. So that wraps up today's episode of Spiritual Paradise, you guys. So I'm your girl, Jazz.
It's your boy Jay, man. We're
gonna be back next week with another video. So be safe. I love y'all. Bye.